It was a cool Friday evening in Lagos. The sun was slowly going down, painting the sky orange. Chinedu had just finished a week-long business trip in Yaba. He wanted to get home to Ikorodu quickly before the night traffic became worse. He boarded a downfall bus from Yaba straight to Ikorodu. The driver was in a hurry, shouting for passengers to enter quickly. Chinedu got a seat by the window, close to the middle of the bus. He placed his small travel bag on his lap and leaned back, tired but relaxed. The journey begins. The bus was noisy. Two women at the back were arguing about change. A young man in the front was on a loud phone call, promising his friend that he'd arrive in 20 minutes, no wa. Chinedu smiled faintly and looked out of the window. The road was busy as usual, but as they approached Third Mainland Bridge, the noise of Lagos slowly faded into the deep hum of the bus engine and the sound of the wind rushing past. The first sign. Halfway onto the bridge, Chinedu felt something strange. A soft tap on his right shoulder. He turned to look, but the seat beside him was empty. The woman who had been there earlier had gotten down before they reached the bridge. He frowned. Maybe he imagined it. But then, he heard a voice. Soft, almost like a whisper in his ear. Get down at the next bus stop.
Chinedu looked around quickly. The passengers were minding their business. No one was even looking at him. He thought maybe the wind was playing tricks on him. The second warning. 5 minutes later, the tap came again. This time it was firmer. The same soft voice repeated, "Get down now. Your life is in danger." This time, Chinedu's heart started to beat fast. He wanted to shout, "Who is talking?" But something told him to keep quiet. The bus continued speeding across the bridge, the water glistening on both sides. The decision. They were approaching a small police checkpoint just before the end of the bridge. Without thinking too much, Chinedu shouted to the driver, "Oga, abeg, stop me here. I know they go again." The driver slowed down annoyed. You for talk since. Who they drop for middle of bridge?" Chinedu pointed ahead. "Just stop for that checkpoint front. I go trek." The driver grumbled but eventually stopped after the police post. Chinedu got down, clutching his bag. He nodded at the policemen and crossed to the other side of the road to wait for another bus. A small village-bound bus picked him up, and he continued his journey. But just 1 hour later, while they were still on the road, the driver's phone rang. He answered and began talking loudly. God forbid. Which boss? The one from Yaba? Eh? Armed robbers for bridge. Them shoot. People die. Chinedu felt cold. He leaned forward and asked, "Oga driver, wetin happen?" The driver shook his head sadly. "Them say one downfall bus will pass Third Mainland just now. Robbers block am for bridge. Some passengers try run, but them shoot." Chinedu's hands began to shake. It was the exact bus he had left just minutes before. When he finally got home that night, he was still trembling. He sat in his room, lights off, replaying everything in his head. Around midnight, he heard a knock on his door. Knock, knock. Cautiously, he opened it. Standing outside was an elderly woman he had never seen before, dressed in simple white clothing. She smiled gently. "You are safe. That is what matters." Before Chinedu could say a word, she turned and walked away into the darkness. He ran outside to follow her, but the street was empty. No footsteps, no sound. Till today, Chinedu doesn't know who she was. Some say it was an angel. Others say it was the spirit of his late grandmother. But one thing is certain. Without that warning, Chinedu would have been in that bus, and he might not be alive to tell the story. Moral of the story: when life whispers to you, listen. Sometimes your survival depends on it.